Brisky never spoke to me. I have never met him. I do not know him from Adam. It was alleged to have spoken to my son, Falana, first. Yes, my son said this guy was appealing to people for assistance, and he called my son.
I've received a lot of calls this morning. Verydarkman, did you see what Uncle Femi Falana said on channels? He's going to make an example, he said a lot of things.
Everywhere is on fire. In fact, Verydarkman is feeling the heat. After the Bobrisky, EFCC, the Nigerian Correctional Center, and Femi Falana, father and son, Falana, aka Falz, Bobrisky, who refused to attend the House of Representative invite, he refused to honor the invitation. Well, Verydarkman went in and he said whatever he needed to say. He challenged the honorable, the reps. He even pointed at them and said, if I find anything about you guys, I will expose it. I know all of you are APC. Now, many people have looked at the style and manner at which Verydarkman speaks, and they said, you can't be effective without being rude. And they pointed to the likes of ordinary president. I'm talking of the CEO of Brekete Family and TV show. They said the man, he operates as an activist and is still respectful in whatever it is that he does. Acting like you are a superman and you are all powerful against an organized structure or system might be too costly for you. But Verydarkman said, this is my modus operandi. This is how I operate. This is who I am. And I am not ready to stop. Well, the Falanas are ready to go all the way. I'm talking of the chamber, Femi Falana's chamber. They are ready to go all the way. They said that they are going to teach Verydarkman a lesson. That Verydarkman is going to be an example to those out there who are wannabe activists, who do not understand that you need to know the law as an activist. If you act without proper reflection, you will end up where you do not want to end up in. But Femi Falana, well, people are asking him to forgive Verydarkman, but is Verydarkman really sorry about whatever utterances that he had put out there without structuring his words? If he had added allegedly, probably it would have been better. But I think he's learning. That is, if he has learned anything from this, that you need to structure. Now, Verydarkman is saying that he would prefer that Femi Falana and his son focus on the corruption, on the act of Bobrisky, rather than on him. I don't know if Femi Falana is going to accept this, having appeared on TV, and also daughter and son standing firm with their father on this, saying, no, we will not allow the name that we have built over the years to be thrown on the ground and smashed. You are nothing. You are a small boy joining what our fathers have done in the past. You should have learned from them how they all started. You will be used as an example. Well, I don't know what this is going to end up to become at the end of the day. Going to the court, from what we heard, Verydarkman might be spending 2 years or more in prison if convicted, if finally the judge or the magistrate ends up jailing Verydarkman. It means you will not be seeing Verydarkman for 2 years. I don't know what your thoughts are as regards this one. Let us listen to what he has to say, and we'll be talking more.
I think on May 4, there about this year, please, can you give me 3 million naira to be placed in a special part of the prison? We call it the VIP section. And my son asking, are you calling me under the authorization of the superintendent of prisons? He said, no, please, don't call me again. I'm unable to assist you to bribe the prison authorities. And be very careful, since you're already in jail for an offense. Please, if you are going to come in next time, you either do it through the superintendent or you write a letter endorsed by the prison authorities. And that was the last. Somebody now said they listened to a tape somewhere and went out to lampoon and rather defend me by saying the guy had spoken to me. Of course, we are going to examine the call logs. And my son has also said, this was the guy who originated a call to me. My son has never negotiated fees on behalf of anybody. On the contrary, my 3 children normally refer people who need assistance to me. Just not prepared to look at the provisions of the law with respect to the law on defamation. So they just simply go out there to embarrass people. I can say this without any fear of contradiction. I have assisted 280 people, convicted people, at home and abroad, to get pardon. On one occasion, 200 Nigerians were convicted in Libya for drug-related offenses. But because the trials were conducted in Arabic, and none of them spoke Arabic, I petitioned the African Commission on Human and People's Rights. That commission, at our instance, I did a petition on behalf of SERAP. At our instance, the commission issued a provisional order, like an injunction, restraining the government of Libya from executing the Nigerians. I think Abike Dabiri was then the chair of the Diaspora Committee of the House of Reps. That committee had appealed to the federal government in vain. But based on our intervention, the court issued an order, and we wrote to, 2 months later, President Gaddafi, the late Muammar Gaddafi, became the chair of the African Union. And we took advantage of that to write to him and appeal to him to pardon this Nigeria by complying with the judgment of the African Commission. And that if you do not, you will be showing a bad example as the leader of the continent, as the chair of the African Union. President Gaddafi granted our request and granted pardon to the 200 convicted Nigerians on death row. They were deported and brought back to Nigeria. On another occasion, and this was 2015, we appealed to General Muhammadu Buhari, 70 soldiers and a general who was demoted to the rank of a colonel had fought the terrorists, but they didn't have adequate equipment. Mr. President, since you set up a presidential arms procurement panel, which had confirmed those who looted the huge sums, over $2 billion, earmarked for procurement of arms, please, can you grant pardon to these guys who were illegally convicted and sentenced? The 70 soldiers were sentenced to death. General Enito Ransom Kuti was demoted to the rank of a colonel and also jailed for 6 months. We got the Army Council to quash his conviction for 6 months, and we now appeal to President Buhari to pardon him. Happily, his rank has been restored. He has retired now as a brigadier general, while we are pursuing the demand for payment of the rights, the entitlement, outstanding salaries and allowances of the 70 soldiers. So I can go on and on. You recall in 1991, 12 young people under 17 were illegally sentenced to death, convicted of armed robbery, and sentenced to death in Lagos by an armed robbery tribunal. Again, we stopped there. We rushed to the court to stop their execution. And when a civilian government came on board in 1992, we appealed to the late Chief Michael Datodola as the governor of Lagos State to pardon these young people. They were pardoned. And so we already have a list of about 280 people. On no occasion, in none of these cases, has our law firm demanded for or received a dime, a cover, from anybody who has been granted pardon. This is the position. Now, what I'm going to do, I have resisted the temptation to file a criminal complaint because I'm leading a team of lawyers in West Africa campaigning for decriminalization of freedom of expression. We have succeeded. This campaign is being coordinated by the Media Foundation for West Africa, of which I'm a member of the board. We have succeeded in getting Liberia, Ghana, and Sierra Leone to decriminalize freedom of expression. We are still appealing to other countries in the region to ensure that we respect freedom of expression. But that is not a license for defaming people, for blackmailing people. Once, and what we are saying, if you are defamed, in the words of the late Justice Olatawura, in the case of Ofawankwa and the state, if you are defamed by anybody, please go out there and sue for libel, where you will put your own character in issue. In this case, we are not going to file a criminal complaint. We will not be pushed to do that. I'm currently defending a couple of journalists who are standing trial, either under the Cyber Crimes Act or under criminal libel. But what we are going to do is to embark on civil proceedings with a view to restoring our integrity, my own name and that of my son, so that nobody will simply rush to the social media to defend any Nigerian. We want to make an example. In this case, we have asked for a retraction and an apology rendered to us. And that is not too much. And if we don't have a retraction, an apology acceptable to us, accepted by us, we are certainly going to initiate civil proceedings in the High Court.
To be honest, I refuse to make this about Verydarkman and the Falanas. You understand? It is about exposing corruption that has eaten the system so deep. First things first, somebody committed an offense. The person was taken to court. The court passed a judgment. One godfather called that the person should not go to where the court passed the judgment, that the person should go to a private lodge. Now, I exposed that. They called us for an investigation. They called EFCC, prison, Verydarkman, and Bobrisky. These three people came, one of them did not come, and it is not a problem. Meaning, if I say the Godfather, they very, very strong. Now, I expect a lot of you to be very disturbed. You people need to be disturbed, but you don't understand. It's not, leave Bobrisky. This is not Bobrisky. You should be bothered about a Godfather that will be in Nigeria, that if somebody commit a crime, just imagine, say, person now buy your papa. Somebody come in our house, come rob. He come buy people. Una come eventually, police come catch him. They come hand over him to prison. One Godfather come call. They can't command the person. How does that help us as a country when the thieves that are committing crimes, there's no guarantee that they are being locked up? When the people committing crime, that there's no guarantee that they are locked up. They are kept away from the people that are living a very good life. You should be bothered. It's not about the Falanas and Verydarkman. It's about the crime. Now, after that thing was released, everybody was in the house, now true or a lie. But when we can't reach House of Red, it can't they become truths. The truth can't they glaring for the eyes. When they put those prison people for inside that docket, I mean a dock. When they asked them, was Bobrisky in prison? From all their response, obviously the guy was not in prison. If you remember, these prison people talk, say they do test. I mean, they go carry Bobrisky, go do one test. They say Bobrisky na complete man. So Bobrisky, they serve in time for man prison. Now when the thing cast, they say Bobrisky, they no put him for man prison. Say because they fear, say men go do this, men go do that. Say they can't keep him for special place. Meanwhile, the Bobrisky, they talk saying they with men for men prison and they enjoyed it. Now, prison oga, they tell us, Bobrisky na tranny. Bobrisky na tranny. Now, why they no put and say, get women feature, in get Bobby and in get Tutu. So, I see get Bobby and Tutu. Why you no put on with women where get Bobby and Tutu? I say, go and investigate the accounts. Bring the account details of that in brother. Let's see the whole accounts. Talk finish. They no get talk again. Investigate that account. Let's know all the money that left the account and all the money that came into the account during the period when Bob was with you, so that we'll find the corruption that is inside the SCC. All the English other one they speak, finish on your mouth. My own be say, if they are serving me a letter, may I also serve Bobrisky this same letter, because I am not the origin of the tape. But I know they serve me, Mona leave another person where originate am. Mona serve the two of us if na the verse. Do you understand? Uncle Femi is somebody that I respect, and I say if I see him today, say I go still lie down for ground. Even if eventually even still carry me go the courts. Maybe more just say push come to shove. I can't go spend 2-3 months. I come back. They just imagine, which is not going to happen. It's not going to happen.
Welcome back. You heard what Femi Falana said. He is not backing down on this. And in the same breath, he was able to talk about the extraordinary that he had done in time past, how he had gotten presidential pardon for certain persons, even outside of Nigeria, as far as Libya with Gaddafi, how he has helped this, done that. Why will he ever want to do such, interact with Bobrisky, even if Bobrisky has the right to cross-dress or whatever it is, even if his own son had written in a song that there is no big deal about anyone who wants to choose to be what they are not biologically. It's not his own business anyway, that he had never met Bobrisky ever, and he never spoke to Bobrisky. For Verydarkman to speak in such a manner, to speak in that way, to utter such despicable fallacy, he said he is not comfortable with that, and that he has to make sure that this goes to the court, and Verydarkman will be used as an example. Now, Verydarkman said to the House of Rep members, the committee instituted to deal with this matter, he said he cares less about prison. That came when he said he was not going to say anything. He was not going to address them. He's not going to respond to their questions because Bobrisky is not present. He even said it seems Bobrisky has a godfather who had told him to relax and not bother. Bobrisky's lawyer came, and his response is that Bobrisky is not feeling fine. He's sick. That is the reason why he could not attend, and that the lawyer is saying that I am here to represent him. I have been briefed. I know what I need to do. If this is going to court, it's okay. Now, the House of Rep members had said that they do not need lawyers. They need just that individual. But you have the right to bring along your lawyer to whatever case. Even if you are going to be interrogated, you need to have your lawyer sitting. It's your right to have your lawyers or lawyers around you. That's not something that the House of Rep members can stop Verydarkman or Bobrisky. Now, is it going to be easy, as Verydarkman thinks, being that he is a baby activist? Is it going to be easy for him to tell the Falanas to desist or stop or pause from dragging him to court? Is it going to be an easy task? I am kind of thinking that Deji Adeyanju, the legal representative of Verydarkman, if he's not thinking about this as an opportunity for him to rise among the ranks and files of lawyers that are known and recognized in Nigeria, if he's not going to think in such a manner, maybe they might delegate some well-respected members of our society to go to Femi Falana to plead on behalf of Verydarkman. But like I told you guys in previous analysis, what I am thinking is that Femi Falana will not fall to such trap. He's a lawyer, he's smart. He might say, Verydarkman, you have to issue a disclaimer that you are not going to post yet. That disclaimer will be your total apology in context, a full one. And you will show me that apology, and it will be posted right in my chamber or wherever it is that we have decided to meet. And afterwards, I will then consider forgiving you, not to drag you to the court. We are talking about defamation here, defamation of character and many other that has been put against Verydarkman. The internet right now are saying Femi Falana ever since you supported Wumi, which is the job of a lawyer anyway, it's just that Femi Falana is an activist, not just an ordinary lawyer. That is the reason why people are judging Femi Falana this way, as an activist. But what people should understand is this: a lawyer will defend a criminal, regardless, an alleged criminal. Even if the person is a criminal, a lawyer will defend a criminal. So all of the Mohbad's case thing has it has created a little bit of bad energy, negative energy around Femi Falana. It has created it. People don't want to hear. They don't care. In fact, people are in support of Verydarkman more than Femi Falana, and don't think that everyone is in support of Verydarkman. Activists who respect, or who had respected, or who are still respecting Femi Falana, are in support of him against Verydarkman. They said, how dare you? How dare you open your mouth to speak in such a manner to a man who has dedicated time, efforts, money, incarceration, exile, all of that? What gives you the right to accuse such a man? How dare you challenge the integrity of such a person? I do not see any reason in challenging the integrity. Integrity needs to be renewed every now and then. It needs to be confirmed every now and then. We cannot sit down and say because someone is an elder, someone had sacrificed, it means that that person cannot bend here to do what he might not necessarily be doing on behalf of Bobrisky. Let us assume that it's the godfather of Bobrisky who had advised Bobrisky and said, look, speak to Falana, that is Fal's the bad guy, and I will see how to sort out the part of presidential pardon or whatever that needs to be. And I'm kind of thinking 6 months in a correctional center does not require a presidential pardon. This is not a life sentence. 6 months in prison. And Bobrisky was out of circulation for a while. The audio recording that we heard, him saying that he didn't spend time in prison. Now the correctional center had appeared in front of the HOR. They said it is not true that Bobrisky slept somewhere outside of the confines of the prisons. That yes, they gave Bobrisky a waiver, which is acceptable by the law of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, that certain persons who they deem to be a risk, that person should be given, according to United Nations Charter, such a person should be given a form of protection in prison so as not to allow such person to be abused. And Bobrisky, having examined him, they presented the doctor's report, physical examination, that Bobrisky had then done some implants on his behind and also in front to deceive people into thinking that he's a female. That Bobrisky has a male genitalia was not mentioned per se, but they said he had this Bobby. His name is Bobrisky now, that he had a backyard too. So if Bobrisky is allowed to be amongst ardent criminals, ardent homosexuals, they said he might be battered, and that's not what they want. So Bobrisky was not allowed, he was not permitted to be. They had to give him a special part called the VIP section. That Bobrisky was never outside. And when Bobrisky spoke to Falana, that's Femi Falana's son, so he said Bobrisky needed 3 million. He was begging celebrities all over to help him with 3 million naira to pay for that VIP section. Question is this: is there a payment for a VIP section at the correctional center? Did EFCC take 15 million from Bobrisky? These are questions that needs to be answered. Or is Bobrisky simply lying, trying to scam the guy in the US? What exactly is this thing? And that is where the part of Verydarkman comes in. If you listen to an audio that you cannot ascertain if it is true or not, and in the same breath you are casting aspersion on persons that you cannot prove if they did it or not, and you are concluding, then it becomes a problem. I hope Verydarkman will learn from this. To be an activist is a good thing. In fact, it is encouraged, but you need to be an activist that reflects. You need to educate yourself so that you will transcend from being an activist to a revolutionary. What are your thoughts about this one? Drop your comment, like, and share. See you in the next update.